Now let's look at what is market velocity. Market velocity is the speed of orders going through the market. Now in the next slide, this will become a lot clearer when I give actual physical examples about what I'm talking about. But effectively, it's looking how quickly the orders are going through the market, and judging on that speed will really determine on the type of plays and setups that you can execute in the marketplace. And so if you're looking at your trading platform ladder, it's all the orders that are being traded, and where you see that flickering of green, red and white is what you're effectively looking at, and how quickly the volume profile histogram is increasing really brings a quick summary of what a market velocity is. By understanding the different market velocity environments is so important, in conjunction with the passive order movement, effectively is the foundation to developing an arsenal of price ladder patterns. So let me just repeat that again and really listen here. By understanding the different market velocity environments, like all seasons, you're not going to be wearing a coat in the height of summer, and you're not going to be wearing your board shorts in the Antarctic. You need to know how to dress up appropriately given your environment. And the same as with the market, you're going to deploy certain types of strategies when you have certain types of speed, the speed of orders that are going through the market. So by understanding the different market velocity environments in conjunction with passive order movement, so that's on, those are where the order book is lined up on the bid and the offer. So how the orders are changing, but not being traded, but how they are changing in conjunction with the trades that are going through is the foundation to developing an arsenal of price ladder patterns. Market velocity is not concerned with the size of the bids. So whatever you see on the bid or whatever you see on the offer, it's actually what's going through the market, what's being traded. And therefore, it's the interaction of the bid or the offer after what we've seen or how we see dynamically in real time, the orders going through the market. So, and I'm circling my finger like this because that's how we effectively represent orders going through in the marketplace. So as the market spins its orders through, how the buyers digest the orders or how they don't digest the orders, how the market then goes to the next price, or how the sellers digest the orders, or how the sellers just step back and the market just continues towards the upside. So it's really understanding that speed environment, and I'll keep on emphasizing this. You will collect and understand so many patterns and so many ways to deploy your strategy if you understand the landscape of the velocity environment of the ladder. And just to continue, it's rather what is being traded and how the price is being traded. So not what's sitting there, but how it's being traded. Very important question, the how. How is the market trading? How is the market absorbing the trades that are going through? Is it absorbing it and the market is becoming static in one area where there's lots of trades but it's not moving anywhere? Well, then this really builds up a pot of energy that's ready to burst itself once the market tires out of trading in a particular zone. So remember, it's the speed of exchange versus buyers and sellers, the level of auction activity and the progress of the auction. So depending on how it's auctioning will determine how the market will progress, based on auction market theory. So the greater the auctioning activity, the greater the speed of orders going through the ladder, the more the market will continue to auction in that direction until the auction tires out. And like when you go to an actual auction, whether a car auction or an auction on antiques, as long as everyone is putting up their hand, if I come in and I offer you and I say, how many of you want an iPad, the brand new iPad 20, that's built on sophisticated nanotechnology, is as light as a finger, projects out into the sky a HD movie? How many of you would want that for $5? And then you're going to get a whole bunch of people putting their hands up, and people will be fighting for that price. I go $10, people are still putting their hands up. I go $20, people are still putting their hands up. I go $500, people are still putting their hands up, not as quick. I go to $2,000, one or two people start putting their hands up. And so the exchange starts slowing down. And as the exchange starts slowing down, so does the market start retreating back until it finds a great level of auction where every buyer and seller is meeting at the so-called equilibrium price point. But remember, an equilibrium price is dynamic. There's no such thing as static equilibrium price because markets are always changing. There's always new information coming into the market. So the whole notion of equilibrium doesn't really exist. It's just price at a specific point in time where buyers and sellers do meet. And then it's the relative auctioning speed of the day. Now you'll notice when the market is trading at one extreme and there's just no activity going through, orders that are going through on the ladder, and we'll explain this in the next slide, the next visual slide, when orders are going through on the ladder and there are 20 orders, 20 buy and 20 sell orders going through per minute on the one side of the market, and then all of a sudden it auctions back towards the bottom side and it starts going at 5,000 orders being traded per minute, well then you know that if the relative volume versus how it traded on the upside versus the downside is a lot higher on the downside. So therefore the market will want to explore lower prices until that auctioning activity starts dying out. So really important to understand relative auctioning speed of the day and then of the week and then of the month. You can have a very quiet August at particular type of prices, but then as we go into September, the auctioning activity really starts rumbling and bubbling and all of a sudden starts picking up, and therefore the market can go into price discovery mode and auctioning in new terrain. And really important, the relative auctioning speed of the price zone. So we talk sometimes just of specific prices, but sometimes you're observing entire price zone of anything between 2 to 20 ticks, where you're looking at the auctioning activity and the speed of orders going through that entire price zone. So really want you to understand of how I'm explaining what is market velocity. And now the next slide, we're going to be focusing and looking at a practical video as I'll bring your visual attention to what I mean by what is market velocity.